Oh, I'll second.
Okay.
Sorry, I totally
It's been moved and seconded.
high pressure to stay on.
Yeah, you don't have anybody else.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passed unanimously. We will also get delegation visitors and move to item 4A as the superintendent report.
All right, so just great news. Tomorrow we have Pace coming out to present a little check, but I told you before that the Pace gentleman seems to really love our playground, and he had recommended us for a little boy and girl for our district. And so tomorrow he's going to be here to give us the grant. And just want to thank Pace for recognizing us with their little, they call it the Pace Spot Award. I tried to look up exactly what spot it stands for. I had no luck finding that on the acronyms there, but I just thought it was great for the insurance company to see the work that we had done as a district. So kudos to them. Thank you. And then on March 5th, we had SWID, and students have been important factor over the last 2+ decades about getting some items switched up and some ideas that we get from the students, whether it's things that we budget for or even things that just have to do with our school community. It's always great to hear from them. And we have a tabulated list, and I'll go ahead and send that to you folks. So yeah, I won't send it to you, Brian, but I'll send it to the board also, so you can see some of the items that they have. But nothing too outlandish this year. Again, not the swing going to the basketball court, things like that. I thought they were, a lot of them, pretty doable, except class pets may not happen.
Yeah. Clarification on what that means, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So we get that a lot from elementary students. Sometimes their pet is like outlandish, like aardvark or something like that, but sometimes not too bad. We could probably look at a fish or something like that, but probably no snakes. And then, it says here about the Dutch Bros at the school, a little bit tougher, but, some of the items like middle school lockers, that replace or fix those. We'd actually tried to work with a couple of companies last summer, but those were really difficult. They were coming from like Indiana, and they want you to spray paint or repaint your lockers because there's more money. And so Troy was able to get some other numbers from some other maintenance directors, and then we're looking at fixing those this summer. We got those health club lockers when the building was built, the school district did, and they've been all right, but they're definitely needing some TLC. The hard part is like on some of these lockers we have, those parts are still readily available. Those other ones, there's a part that Troy just can't easily fix, and so he's trying to locate some of those parts. So that's maybe the difficult part of it. So, but anyway, more books, beanbag chairs. Those are all doable things, and things that we want the kids to have as far as the books, etc. So, our science club, they actually just competed yesterday and did pretty well. They just got the results back today. So Brock said he'd share more with me tomorrow on that, but he said he was pleasantly surprised with the outcome of that. That was up at University of Portland. And then our science club appears to be headed to Boise State during April. So they're going to be gone for the school week, and they're going to be going to Eastern Oregon University, Boise State University, and it's all going to be pretty science-related stuff, as you can imagine, some social science. We were talking a little bit today because one of his things fell through. So we talked about some alternate physics-type activities that he could do along I-84 or even I-30, like towards even right near if he started out there and looked at the old Trojan site and then went eastward and talked about some other power opportunities. And then they're going to look at Hanford. They're not going to go all the way there, but to the museum, and Cheyenne Locke is going to meet them there. From where she lives, she's going to come down to there because she works at Hanford, and it looks like it's going to be pretty great overall. So, not all the way to Houston, definitely a little bit more limited in scope, but he has a couple of parents. I know Charlie Parr and Rachel Pelzer have volunteered to come help, and which is pretty typical, and do some meals for them. And it looks like we'll have about 24 kids that are participating this year. So pretty outstanding.
Yeah. Great, thank you.
All right. Yep.
Move to elementary and middle school.
Yeah, elementary's in the middle of their survival swim program at the Cross Center. They were pretty impressed. Last week they got 2 free swim days because Kaiser was out of school. So we moved our schedule around a little bit. And so they have lessons the other 2 days last week and this coming week or this current week. Wizard of Oz practices have begun along with Pirate Sounds has a concert the Thursday we come back from break. Family Literacy Night is 2 weeks after break. Mrs. Pay and Mrs. Matthews have been working to plan literacy activities for families that evening. 5th grade took a field trip to Washington School for the Blind. I don't know if you're going to chat more about that, so I'll kind of save that. But a pretty great experience for our 5th graders and really something that we could potentially see doing more often in the future. Middle school culinary, just some things that they've been cooking up are omelets, crepes, pizza from scratch, and no-bake cookies. And of course, everybody's looking forward to spring break. And then just following that as well, 8th grade trip is really coming together. Very similar from last year with a few tweaks, but very similar. The groups are always really excited for that. And then 6th grade outdoor school is coming up. So spring is happening fast. That's everything from me.
Thank you.
Where's the Washington School for the Blind? I've never.
Up in Vancouver, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
We used to play them every once in a while in middle school sports.
Okay.
Erin, your turn. Sped
All right, we have 33 students receiving special education services. The 5th grade class, as Christy said, went up to Vancouver and they just had an amazing time. I mean, they came back just pumped. They got to meet students who lived there. There are quite a few, middle and high school. They played one of the PE games that they do there, where they have a ball with a bell in it, and it's like soccer, but the kids got blindfolds and played that game, and they ate lunch there. Some of, I think, blindfolded most of them, and just kind of practiced navigating, and they got a tour of the dorm, and it was just
The animal exhibits.
the animal exhibit. So they have like hands-on museum where the kids can just feel the animals, real animals. And it was just pretty incredible. So, it was a really neat experience. And I think they had a lot of fun. All the staff that went on the field trip were like, I want to work there because it's just such a cool place. So, yeah. And they don't host many field trips, which we were kind of surprised. Kaylin reached out to someone there and they just started talking and she's like, well, we just haven't done this before. And I just think it was a great experience for everyone.
Thank you. So move to the facilities report. Anybody have any questions on that at all? So according to Troy's report, it looks like maybe we should potentially be looking at, okay, maybe not. Because the HVACs are approaching their 20s. Are they at 20 years now?
Yeah, the bigger ones are past 20 years. I mean, as
So-
far as the ones up in the middle school, et cetera, a lot of our furnaces, I mean, it's not a bad thing to look at replacing some, 1 or 2 furnaces and HVAC
Roll
units,
it
but we've
over some
been
time.
working on some of those and we've been limping those through, over the last, I'd say 5 years, with the ones in the middle school specifically. So, the furnaces here in the high school, I'd say have been pretty solid for us over the years. It's been those AC units in the middle school that have been paying, including the gym. And like I said, we have one newer unit that we purchased, but one of our former students is their dad's been able to get us through, here and there. So, we appreciate that. But yeah, definitely those larger units will want to go ahead and start looking at replacing some
I'm
of those.
just wondering if maybe we should be looking at that for building.
Yeah.
up education.
Yeah, and Troy came and talked with us again today about some items that he has on his wish list, and he has those that he submitted to us. And again, I asked him to make sure he prioritized those, because it's one thing to have 15 items on a wish list, but it's another thing to prioritize those for the committee. So,
Okay. Move to spotlight on education.
I would like to give a couple of shout outs. Mrs. Pipitone and Mrs. Gaylord have some students in their class with more significant needs, and they just have really immersed themselves in their students' education. And it's not a knock on regular education, but typically there's kind of a divide, and that relationship can be like, that's your student first, special ed. But these two teachers have really just been like, this is my student. I want to learn everything there is to know about their learning style. And it's just been, I've been very impressed with just how involved they are. They just take the lead as teachers should with all students, and they've just done an excellent job. The fact that Mrs. Gaylord was willing to take her whole class up to Washington was just really inspiring and really neat to see. So I've been super impressed with both of those teachers in particular.
Yes. Okay, so we move to new hires and recommendations.
Yeah, so our first one is, well, they're all actually athletics. So track season sees a lot of movement with coaches sometimes, and softball did this year as well because we had Jeremy Gunther went from assistant coach to head coach, and then we filled that in with Coach Shank as the assistant coach, Coach Gunther, and who's been helping out Mr. G for quite a while, and has helped out with youth programs before that. He was in on that interview with Mr. Cruikshank, and they went forward with that one. Tammy Morrow's been an IA here for about a year and a half now, and had some softball background, was interested in helping coach. So she's helping out with Lindsay Gunther at the middle school level. It says Emma J, but I think it's Gaylord there. She's middle school head track. She's been helping out with the middle school program the last couple of years while we started it. She was the assistant to Mr. Ferguson, and then we have Sean Davis. So if you want to look in the gym as you walk in, you'll see some of those records actually come from Sean Davis, or Sean Davis owns them, including like the 100 and 200. But he retired from the prison a while ago. Has been helping out here at Perrydale, and he had some track experience at Willamina as well. Last year when we called Willamina, when he was starting to help out as an assistant, we called over and talked with the AD at Willamina. They said, we'd hire that guy in a heartbeat again, which we already kind of knew that would be the case, but it was great to have him. And then lastly, one of our assistant or IAs or instructional assistants also wanted to help out with track. And she has some experience when she was over in Europe and also here in the States. So it's been great to have these people, have expressed that interest. Sometimes it's hard to get some of those assistants, especially when you're looking for multiple assistants. We have enough interest for middle school and high school track, and then we have high school softball and baseball, and then we have middle school softball. Did not quite have enough for middle school baseball. So some of them are still playing youth leagues around, but not enough to really fill the team consistently. With baseball, you get a few more numbers. Probably need about 13 to really do that. You can do maybe 11 or 12, depending on if you had the right number of pitchers. But, Brian, you played for quite a while, but, it's hard to do if you don't have enough arms. So, 5 of those sports is pretty great, and look forward to having the season. The boys' high school is playing a non-league schedule because they decided a little bit later in the game that they were going to do that. So we just got some stuff to work on the field, turfus, et cetera, and got a new net that we're putting up, et cetera. So Troy's been working with Kyle to get the lift down here. We're going to start working on that field where they are. So I think that's about it. Any questions on those? No? Okay.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, move to item 5, consent agenda.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. We'll move to items for board action, elect new budget committee members. So we've got 4 open positions, we've got 4 applicants.
So let's do it.
I think we just have to.
I'll move to. Well, I know, I was just trying to think. Appoint. I was trying to think of the right
Yes,
word.
that's right.
I move to appoint Lance Blades, Rachel Pelzer, Melissa Gibson, and Tori Boleen to the budget committee.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
I'll send the welcome letters tomorrow.
Perfect, thank you. So we'll go to the superintendent evaluation, and I will read this into the record. The board has completed Mr. Dugan's superintendent review for this year. We would like to thank him for his dedication to the district, his professionalism with staff, and the care and consideration he gives to everyone he encounters. We look forward to another year with him leading our district. Thank you from the Perryville School Board. Okay. Patron inputs. Guess we'll move to number 8. ORS, we're going to meet in executive session under ORS 1926602D to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to carry on labor negotiations. So we will go into executive at 7:17.